Greetings, my little superstars! Ruppy here, and I'll be your ringmaster for the UNPL Spring Fling low-tier extravaganza that is the Columbus Swoo Amazing Digital Circus Edition! That's right, every mon on the Swoo roster for this event is nicknamed after a character from the sensational new show that's taken YouTube by storm, the Amazing Digital Circus! I am not affiliated in any way, shape, or form with the Amazing Digital Circus or Glitch Productions. I just simply love the show and wanted to pay homage to it with my first ever full roster nickname theme. I do, however, highly recommend checking it out here on YouTube. In any case, our little low-tier legends are getting ready, because today's adventure is... Topple the TTars! That's right! Week 1 of the UNPL Spring Fling pits us against Grumm and his Philadelphia TTars, giving Grumm and I our very first chance to actually play one another, despite being in the same league on 2 separate occasions. That, of course, being last season for the UNPL, as well as the recent season of the BBR D-League. His roster is no joke, as you can see. Lots and lots of bulk to be found as Grumm looks to slow our superstars down with potential sticky webs from Rabombi, or the absolute walls that are... well, most everything else. Of particular note is his Goodra of the Hisuian variety, that was his very first draft pick. The Flying Fortress that is a Namorous-Therian, the proud former incarnation of our very own Pomni in Porygon 2, and a Grumm staple in the dreaded Orthworm. His Terra Captains are Electivire and Crabominable, who can both hit very hard and who knows what Terra type they could decide to run to spoil our fun. But fear not! For our proud little performers look eager to educate our friend Grumm about his glaring weaknesses to fighting and rock. And who better to teach this lesson than our very own Pomni! Version 2.0. That's right! Pomni has been reprogrammed into a menacing new wolf form and is ready to show her old version how much more terrifying she is. Stone Edge and Close Combat make our little jester an utter nightmare for Grumm to stop. And Knockoff gives her a way to threaten that pesky Sinistra, who may look to spill the tea and stop the party. No guard means that Grumm's roster has no chance of avoiding these pointy pebbles, and the plan of dancing with swords and being fueled by a life orb makes Pomni a very dangerous force to be reckoned with. As Pomni is one of our Terra Captains, she'll be donning the giant fist atop her head to further pummel her enemies into submission. The EV spread might seem a little standard, but it does speed tie with an adamant max speed Electivire, so why not roll the dice and see what happens? Pomni's going to need some help, however, and that's why she's calling in her friend from the Candy Canyon Kingdom, Gummigoo! This ferocious Gummigator is copying a lot of Pomni's plans to maximize the chaos that will run Grumm's tanky terrors right off the rocky road. Instead of dancing with swords, however, Gummigoo is instead wearing a choice band beneath that hat of his, and also rocking Earthquake to really shake things up, especially once Orthworm, a Namorous-Therian, and Honchkrow have fallen. Intimidate helps make Grumm's physical attacks easier to chew, and 176 speed EVs always outrun the aforementioned adamant max speed Electivire, just in case the motorized menace gets the jump on his poor friend. But, you know what's better than one intimidating presence? That's right! 2! That's why Kane is here to further scare Grumm's team into submission and take a bite out of those walls with his giant teeth. Once again, Adamant Max Speed Electivire is the speed benchmark, and Kane's also playing around with a little bit of bulk and an Assault Vest to try and better eat some hits from special attackers not named Volcanion. Seriously, between you and me, that thing really needs to learn to turn down the heat. In any case, Kane is joining the Close Combat Cotillion, as well as recklessly throwing himself into the party with Flare Blitz and Wild Charge, the former to address all those fire weaknesses like the dreaded Worm, and the other to threaten the flying things and that vile Volcanion. Crunch is the final move to take a bite out of Sinistra, so it doesn't enjoy a nice boil because of its heat-proof ability. Now, our friends are looking a little heavy on the physical side right now, so, let's stitch up that problem with help from our resident doll, Ragatha! Ragatha's wearing a little something extra this week in the form of a choice scarf, with enough speed to outrun a jolly max speed Honchkrow looking to copy her look. Trace allows our raggedy friend to copy any number of enticing abilities Grumm may have access to, such as Earth Eater, Motor Drive, Water Absorb, or even one of her friend's abilities if Porygon 2 has already traced it first. Moonblast and Psychic are powerful stab moves to try and dent this bulky brigade, and just so she's not left out of the fighting fray, Ragatha's also packing Focus Blast! And just to potentially further spoil Grumm's fun, her moveset is rounded out with Trick, to try and lock Grumm into a single move at the most inopportune of times and give one of her funny buddies even the slightest advantage. Also joining the fun is Kaufmo! This funny bird clown may seem like he's running the same old routine you'd expect from someone like him, with Thunderbolt, Hurricane, U-turn to avoid Electivire's Motor Drive, and Roost to stay healthy, along with a pair of heavy-duty boots to avoid any of those stealthy stones. But he can really warm up the crew with his constant pivoting to chip things down and open the door for all sorts of wacky hijinks! Plus, he's fast enough to outrun Ribombee, and what's not to love about that? Our final funny buddy for today's adventure is coming because, admittedly, there was a bit of a fear regarding Enamorous Therian setting up a whole bunch and becoming impossible to take down, especially if that dastardly duck opts for some trick room shenanigans. Which is why Kinger has come along. Kinger may not have much going offensively, but he's mostly here to deal with the Therian threat, so it's all fine and dandy with all that bulk he's running, along with a tiny bit of speed for some speed creep shenanigans against some of Grumm's slower mons. Kinger's packing Flash Cannon for the aforementioned Enamorous, as well as Ribombee and potentially the Giant Crab, Knockoff to help get rid of some items and further slurp away at Sinistcha, Stealth Rock to really make some feet sore, and let's not forget Haze to make sure no setup can spoil our fun. Speaking of fun though, Kinger is also coming in competitive, just in case Ribombee wants to make things a little sticky for us. That's the roster for today's adventure. It's Danny Mac and Dapper Snapper helped to program today's roster, and I couldn't have done this without them. So, how will our funny buddies handle this Herculean task? Can they start off the season with a sensational victory? Let's find out! Alright, it is battle time! Time to get my first taste of low-tier fun. And see how this goes. So he is, let's see, Crabominable, which he has told me is Terra Steel. Enamorous Therian. Electivire, which is Terra Flying. Hisuian Goodra. Porygon 2, and Volcanion. So, no Orthworm. Huh, interesting. No Ribombee, no Colossal, no Honchkrow. So not quite what I expected, honestly. That said, kind of don't know what he would want to lead with, to be quite frank. I think I'll lead Kaufmo, actually. We'll lead with the Kilowattrel and go from there. So, good luck, have fun, Grumm. Gonna be interesting to see how our first clash with each other ends up going. Also, hope you guys enjoyed the shenanigans I did with the Teambuilder. Leave a comment down below if you did like it or if you didn't. I don't know if it'll change for week 2 if you guys didn't like it, because obviously I won't see it until after the fact, but who knows? Maybe I'll keep going with it all season, maybe I will change it up. Anyway, he leads Crabominable, which I know is Terra Steel, which is interesting. So, this is a bit iffy right out of the gate. I'm just going to go ahead and U-turn out. Kaufmo's gonna start, causing some problems early. Just pivoting around and being a nuisance. See what exactly he wants to do. I am a bit surprised by what he brought. This is, not entirely what I expected. Because, considering how much, Grumm loves his Orthworm, I figured a worm would come for me to wrangle with my, Amazing Digital Circus crew. So he is going to Terrasilize the Crabominable, which means Electivire being Terra Flying is now irrelevant because it cannot Terrasilize. I do not blame him for the Terra, but it does not change the fact I'm just going to U-turn out. Get a little bit of chip off on this thing. And I feel like my play is... Kane. Get the Intimidate off on this thing. He's Hyper Cutter! Clever! Okay, clever. And he's got knockoff. Good to know. So it would not surprise me if he switches out here, because Terra Steel is... This thing is on the slower side, and Terra Steel is definitely not going to want to be taking on a Flare Blitz. So I feel like the most likely switch he would make is Volcanion. You know what? I'm going to Flare Blitz anyway, just in case. I had a feeling he was going to switch to Volcanion, but... better safe than sorry. We're still going to go ahead and pop this thing a bit. So, what do we do from here? Because he's probably going to Steam Eruption. He could also Earth Power. I am without my Assault Vest. Not that it would have mattered against the Steam Eruption anyway, but... honestly, I feel like just Wild Charging and getting big damage off on this thing is the play. Especially since I did not see leftovers off of that Flare Blitz. Yeah, gonna get some nice chip off that Wild Charge. And he's gonna Earth Power. Alright. So, Grumm draws First Blood, which is fine. That is very much fine. Looking at his team... I mean, Krookodile definitely threatens. I could also go into... He's AV. Honestly, I think Gummigoo's my play. Call me crazy, but... I don't think he stays in and takes an Earthquake. I really don't. That said, though... He can't Terrasilize Electivire. I severely doubt he goes into Goodra. Enamorus is his safe play. Considering I'm banded... That looks like it could be in range of a knockoff. You know, I'm going to knock off at the middle ground. I'm pretty sure he switches... Yep, he switches out. So whatever's coming in is taking a banded knockoff. It is not going to appreciate it. Not even this thing. Takes a chunk from that. Lost its boots, which is fine. And... okay, this is where things are going to get a little tricky. I'm going to go into Kinger. I don't think he... just because I could very easily also go into... I mean, yeah, the fairy move seems obvious here. Maybe he calls that and goes for Earth Power, but... this at least puts me in a position to address this thing if it's some sort of setup set, which I would not be surprised if it is. It lost its boots. Yup. He's gonna Iron Defense. So he is either the Double Dance set, or at the very least... yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of that before he starts body pressing. So, goodbye to that. If he does a body press, he's just gonna go Earth Power, which... Kinger does take. Perfectly fine with that. So Kinger's going to be able to recover. I'm going to get my rocks up. Because rocks are definitely invaluable at this point, because he brought no removal. So he's got no way of getting rid of them. Doesn't look like he brought any hazard of his own. He's going to go into Volcanion, which is absolutely fine. So I know Enamorus is without rocks. I don't believe I knocked off... Or did I? Did I knock off the thing's item? I feel like I... No, I don't believe I did. Let's see, I'm at 255. I'm out of range of an Earth Power, assuming he's not Specs. I feel like it'd be worth it just to knock off and potentially risk Kinger here. Just to get rid of whatever item is on this thing. Call me crazy, but... Yeah, this was not... I'm not necessarily running a bulky team, so... Kind of playing with the cards I'm dealt and working with it the best I can. I do have stuff chipped down, so I do have openings I can exploit. I do outspeed this thing, which is interesting. And it is also boots. Not anymore. It's the flamethrowers predicting me to switch. Which I will gladly take. So, knowing that... I mean, he could flamethrower again. He would need max roll to kill, though, is the thing. Let's see, he doesn't have Haunch Crow, though, so... In theory, I could go Ragatha. I mean, he could Sludge Bomb me as the thing. I think I'm going to go into Kaufmo, actually. I think I'm going to call the Earth Power and go into Kaufmo. Try to make this work. So Kaufmo comes back out. Does he... He Steam Eruptions this time, so that is a... Not a dead Kaufmo, okay. So... I don't believe he's Modest, then. It would not surprise me if he goes into Electivire right now. Predicting the T-Bolt. So I'm going to Hurricane, actually. Because it picks this thing off. It's actually a pretty good neutral play. Never mind. Never mind. Oh! He called a U-turn, I guess? No, he called me to roost. You know what? I'm going to gamble on the T-Bolt this time. If he switches into Electivire, then good on him. No, he does not, so that should be a dead Volcanion. Fair enough. Look at Kaufmo getting our Amazing Digital Circus roster its first KO of the season. As P2 now comes in. Surprise, surprise. And you do have Trace. Good to know. I think I'm going to go ahead and Roost now. Just to get my HP back. I'm almost positive your Eevee Light... Trick Room. I somehow in the back of my head had a thought that you might be Trick Room. So that does not surprise me. I'm going to go Kinger. I'm just going to flat switch into Kinger. This thing having Volt Absorb is going to be a little annoying, but we can make do with it. He's going to switch. Into the Crabominable. Good. Okay, that's a good one. I have to give him credit for that one. That's a good switch. Okay. So, this is definitely going to be annoying now. Because this Crabominable is very much in a good spot against me. Do not like that. Okay, what do I do about you? I think I'm going to go back into Kaufmo. I think we're just going to switch around and try to stall out the Trick Room as best I can. Not the best plan, but knowing this thing is Hyper Cutter definitely does not bode too well for me if he goes close combat. Which does take out Kaufmo. So, let me see real quick. Close combat. I don't believe I saw Life Orb recoil. Are you banded? Banded makes sense, actually. So, that said... Call me crazy, but I'm going to go into Ragatha. We're going to test something here. We are going to test something. I'm going to try to go for a Focus Blast. If he does change up moves, then good play on him. He definitely tricked me. But just based on that damage to Kaufmo, I feel like you're banded. Because nothing else makes sense at this point. Nothing else is making sense in my head right now. As to that turn of events. He does just close combat, so I think he is banded. So if I can hit this Focus Blast, this should be a dead Crabominable. And we do hit it! So goodbye, Pog Crab. Not bad. Trick Room is still up, and Gardevoir being Scarfed is obviously not the best, not the ideal, situation for that. But with Crabominable gone, I think we can make things a little easier out here. Especially since I do have Rocks up, so that does work in my favor. To kind of slowly chip away at his bulk. I do still have Pomni sitting in the back. Crook is still, I believe, at pretty good, reasonable health. Kinger's still floating around. So not the worst scenario we could be in. As this is going to be the Electivire. Which, good play on his part, considering this was the thing I speed crept for a lot. This is his last turn of Trick Room. So there is that. Now then. What do you go for? See, Ragatha's at 172. So a knockoff would definitely KO. I kind of feel like Gummigoo might be the play here. Yeah, we're going to go Gummigoo. Because I can get an Intimidate off, I can tank an Ice Punch if you do in fact happen to read this. And we can go from there. So Gummigoo is in. Gonna get this Intimidate off. And you go for the Earthquake, predicting, Huh. He might have been predicting Pomni there, actually. So, Trick Room is gone. And I would not be surprised to see an Amorous Therian right now. So I'm going to Stone Edge. Let's see if I called that. If he goes into P2, then good play. Nope, that is an Amorous Therian. Hit this Stone Edge, Gummigoo. Come on, mate. We hit it. And that is a dead Amorous Therian. So, everything that, survives, everything that dodges Earthquake is now gone. So, Gummigoo's in a good spot to be able to kind of spam Earthquakes from here. Being locked in a Stone Edge is not bad, though. Banded Crook, looking good so far. Be looking even better if I can, Somehow that doesn't surprise me. And he's gonna trace my Intimidate. Which is definitely gonna suck. That is fine, though. I wonder, actually. I'm gonna switch into Ragatha. I have an idea. So I believe I'm gonna end up tracing my own, Yeah, I'm gonna end up tracing my own Intimidate back, which I don't think is gonna do anything to this thing. But he's gonna set up Trick Room, which is fine. That's exactly what I want, actually, because I'm gonna trick something my Choice Scarf. Which is gonna definitely mess up the Trick Room flow here. And allow Ragatha to, at the very least, outslow. He stays in. Which I'm fine with. I take this Ice Beam. I'm gonna get Eviolite away from this thing. Which is not gonna do me any favors, honestly. But Scarf P2. I will certainly take that. I think I still outrun this thing. I think this thing still outruns me in Trick Room, though. But I'm gonna go ahead and Focus Blast now. Ragatha ends up taking that Ice Beam. I'm gonna hit this Focus Blast. Do a ton of damage to this duck. You know, I mean, considering what he's got left, is it really worth saving Ragatha here? I don't think it is. I'm gonna Moonblast. We're gonna let Ragatha go. That is fine, though. Because I think I can go into Pomni now. Pomni 2.0 versus Pomni 1.0, baby. Let's get it. Pretty sure you're locked into Ice Beam, which I don't think really threatens me. So how many turns of Trick Room are left? This is the last one. So I think I'm actually safe to Swords Dance here. I take that. Gonna get this Swords Dance up. And I think we might potentially be in position for Pomni to sweep. I'm just gonna go ahead and knock off to get rid of you. So P2 is gone, no more Trick Room shenanigans. And Lycanroc is in a really good spot right now. We're gonna go back into the Electivire. This one does kind of worry me a bit, because I Speed Tie Adamant. That said, though, I'm gonna Terrasilize anyway, because yeah, this is gonna be interesting how this works out. He'd either a potentially bulkier set to take advantage of Trick Room. I mean, he could be Adamant, in which case I'm at risk of a Speed Tie here, which could see Pomni go down. But then I might put myself in a good spot with I think I actually put myself in a good spot with Crook to just finish this game from here. So Pomni might be setting up Gummigoo. Considering the Amazing Digital Circus Episode 2, I will take that. Pomni lives! Incredible! So, all that remains is the Hisuian Goodra that has not come in at all this game. And I'm gonna go into Gummigoo. Because I'm pretty sure this is how we finish this game off. Because there should be no way you outspeed me. I've got an Intimidate up just in case. And an Earthquake should finish you off. So that should be the end of that. Because this is a Choice Band, and that is a dead Pog Snail. So, GG Grumm. That was a great game. That one kind of got me nervous there, because in the back of my head, I expected potential Trick Room Porygon 2, considering that thing's my that's Pomni 1.0, that's my Terra Captain over in, the BBR D-League. So, I know what that thing is capable of. I knew it was going to be a problem, but oh man, to clutch out the win like that, that was a good one. GG again, Grumm. Whew! Amazing Digital Circus roster, Columbus Swoo edition. Off to a 1-0 start in the UNPL Spring Fling. I think I'm going to have some fun with this roster. But with that said, GG one more time to Grumm. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy, and my Columbus Swoo Amazing Digital Circus edition, and myself, your Ringmaster. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, my little superstars.